Hello and welcome back to Mancinima. I hope you're all doing very well. You may have missed us last week. We took a week off because it was my birthday. So, you know, I've got older, decided to take a week off, decided to chill, relax, go and watch some movies at home because there wasn't nothing on at the cinema that I thought was worth watching and worth reviewing for you. So anyway, I had to wait a week until something decent or half decent has turned up, and here we are with today's review of the movie Baghead. Now you've got to be careful how you say that title, because if you say it to a couple of people, they think you're saying baguette, which is something you'd get from Greggs or maybe from Subway. But it's not about, you know, French sticks and things like that. It's a little horror movie, and you know, we love our horror movies on this channel. This one stars Peter Mullen, and he's playing a character called Owen Lark. Now, at the beginning of the film, we see Owen, and he's in this, it looks like a pub. I think it's like an abandoned or run-down pub. And he's going downstairs, and he deals with this weird, but I mean, they call it a female, they call it a her, but it's a weird creature that lives in the cellar. And what he decides to do is he tries to destroy this creature. You know that it's almost like he's had his fill of it. It's ruined his life. And he decides that what he's going to do is set light to the whole pub and destroy this creature once and for all. However, the creature turns the tables on him, and something nasty happens to Owen Lark. So that's part of that part of the story. We flash forward over to England, and we are in London, and we see a couple of young girls breaking into a building, and one of them girls is Freya Allen. She's playing Iris Lark, so that's the daughter of Owen, and she's there with her best friend Ruby Barker, and she's playing a character called Katie. Iris and Katie are breaking into Iris's old apartment because she's been booted out. She's basically, I don't know if she's skimped on her rent or something like that, but she's being booted out of her apartment, so she wants to break in to get all of her belongings back, and then she's going to go out and find somewhere else to live. So once she's broken into the apartment, and once she goes back onto the street, she receives a telephone call, and her friend says, "Oh, who's that?" And it's somebody telephoning to tell her that her father has died. And her friend says, "Oh, I thought your father had died a long time ago." And she says, "Well, no, he's really dead." So you know that, you know, from that they've had a bit of a fractured relationship and they haven't seen each other in a very long time. Iris is kind of intrigued, so she decides to go over and see where her father was living, and she gets on a plane. Now, this is the bit of the story that kind of confused me. She gets on this plane and they don't tell you where she's going. It's not obvious where she's going. She kind of, you see her sitting in a plane seat and she goes off and flies somewhere, and then when she gets to the location, it looks like an English pub. It looks like, well, they call it a Scottish pub, but it looks like this English-Scottish traditional pub. And you think, well, why would she get on a plane to fly kind of up country? However, as it turns out, apparently the location is Berlin in Germany. So there's nothing on screen to tell you that it's in Berlin in Germany. You're just completely unaware, apart from a few German newspapers here or there within the context of the story. But yeah, that's where the location is. But it just seems a bit bizarre that they didn't give you a location like she's flying to Berlin, or, you know, your father was in Berlin, or that kind of thing. They didn't tell you that. It just looks like she's flying to another location in England, because everything when they get there is very English. So she goes into this place, and this character called Neil turns up. He's played by Jeremy Irvine, and he wants to go downstairs to the cellar. He's offering to give the girl a lot of money, and he says to her, "What I want to do is come down to the cellar and talk to the creature that's in the cellar." And Iris doesn't know anything about this. She's completely, you know, baffled, and she thinks, well, what's this all about? But she could do with the money. So she agrees to allow him to do this. He goes down into the basement. She follows down with her friend Katie, and they try to find out what's going on. And she finds out that what happens is that if you give this creature something that belongs to one of your loved ones, the creature can then turn into that loved one, and you've got 2 minutes to talk to them and get your answers from them. Now, Jeremy Irvine's character of Neil, his wife died, and he wants to know, you know, he wants one last chance to talk to her, but he's got darker motives, which are revealed throughout the context of the story, and I'm not going to go into here because it might spoil things for you. So that's the basic premise of the story, is that, you know, they've got this girl, this creature that's living in the basement. Its head is covered with a bag, which is why it's called Baghead. It's a strange title because they could have really called it anything, and the bag's not completely relevant to the story. But yeah, they go down into the basement, and if you give it something that belonged to one of your loved ones, it contorts and it metamorphosizes and it turns into that person, and you've got 2 minutes to get your information from that person before they turn back into the demon, and you've got to shove it back into the hole in the wall where it came from. There's a lot more context to it, there's a lot more depth to the story, there's a lot more detail to the story, but I don't want to go into too much, because obviously if you're going to go and see this film, you don't want to have the whole thing laid out on a plate for you before you go in. So yeah, let's just say what I thought about the film. I thought very much, and it very much reminded me of a movie that came out last year, which I really didn't like. You know, if you've watched this channel, that I didn't like this movie, and that movie was called Talk to Me. I thought that film was very boring. I'm not going to go into too much detail about Talk to Me again, but the premise is pretty much the same. Whereas in Talk to Me, they had to hold the hand and you had so many minutes to talk and get this information from a dead person. In this one, you put the clock on the timer for 2 minutes and you get your information from the person themselves. The Baghead creature metamorphosizes into this person. You get your information from them. Then when the 2 minutes are up, you've got to put her back in the hole. Otherwise, she can begin to kind of take control of your soul and that kind of business. So, but yeah, I thought this was better than Talk to Me. I thought the actors, for one, were far better, far more professional. I wouldn't say likeable, but you could follow them and get invested in their story. You felt for them and you wanted to know where they were going and where their story was going, and some of the background of the old man's story, you know, the Owen Lark, the guy who's at the beginning of the film. So you wanted to get some background on his story as well. You want to know what Neil's up to because you don't, you know, 100% trust him and things like this. But yeah, I thought this was better than Talk to Me. Like I say, it's a very similar premise. The one thing that surprised me about it, and I didn't know a thing, looking at the poster, you'd think it was an American production. But it's actually an English production. You've got a lot of English cast in it. You know, and I was very surprised by that. Lots of English accents, you know, lots of English kind of locations at the beginning. And it's strange that in Berlin they've got this English/Scottish pub. But as I said before, I think that's something to do with the co-production. I think that Germany probably co-funded the film, so therefore they had to have the location, part of the location of the story set in Germany. So that's probably why that was. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's a scary film. You know, it tries to be scary. There's a couple of moments which are creepy. It's atmospheric. I could say it's atmospheric. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, as for scary, no, you know, you're not going to walk out that cinema saying, oh, that was a scary moment, or I was freaked out by that, or anything like that. You know, it's just a basic, bog standard little horror movie. But again, it's nice to see horror movies opening at this end of the year, up in January, where there's not a lot else going on. So, yeah, I quite enjoyed this one. I thought the cast were fantastic. I thought Freya Allen did a fantastic job. She really does a good job of kind of playing the daughter who's down on her luck and kind of gets a hold of this building, gets a hold of this pub, and she has to then become the guardian of the creature that's in the cellar. So she's kind of tied in. When she signs the contract to take over the pub for a little bit from her father, she's then contracted to look after the creature as well that lives down in the basement. And of course, people want things from this creature, so she's kind of tied into that as well. Yeah, I thought she did a fantastic job. I thought that Ruby Barker did a fantastic job as well as Katie. She kind of has her own little story within that she goes off and does a bit of investigating, and then she comes back to the story. And Jeremy Irvine is pretty good as Neil. He's quite creepy, and you know, you don't know whether you should trust him or not, whether he's an ally, whether he's an enemy. But yeah, I thought it was a good film. The creature itself is interesting. It's got some decent special effects in there as well. So yeah. I think Baghead is on limited release. I had to go to another cinema. As you know, our usual cinema is the Odeon. Odeon aren't showing. I don't know what Odeon are up to at the moment, because it seems that a film gets released one week, Odeon doesn't get it. I have to go off and see it somewhere else, and then the week afterwards, Odeon decide to get it. So they're lagging behind by a week, and I don't know why that is. And I don't know why we're getting these limited edition runs a week later than everybody else, you know. So it's a bit annoying that we have to go to some other cinema, travel to another location to go and see this film. So, you know, what can you do? What would I give Baghead out of 10? You know, it's not what I would call a great horror film. It's not one you're going to remember, but it's something that's entertaining. Like I say, I was invested in the characters, I was invested in the story, but it's something that ultimately, give me a few months, I probably would have forgotten that it existed. So I would probably give it, I don't know, I don't want to be this low, but it's probably a 6.5 out of 10. That's probably a fair, it's, you know, it's just above average and a little bit more. So 6.5 out of 10 for Baghead. Okay, so with the film review out of the way, I just want to have a chat with you guys about the future of the Mancinima part of this channel. Now, I've been looking at the numbers. We're still very low on subscriber numbers. We're hovering around 3, 4, 7, something like that. And you know, you get the old thumb bandits who come on and think it's funny to subscribe and then unsubscribe, and then they subscribe and then they unsubscribe because they're messing with the numbers. Unfortunately, there's some weirdos out there and they do that kind of thing. They've got nothing better to do with their lives, so you know. But yeah, it messes around with the channel. They're trying to sabotage what I'm doing here. So yeah, unfortunately, if the numbers don't begin to climb, if I see those numbers that begin to stick around 3, 4, 7 or something like that, and the likes and the comments and stuff like that on these review videos aren't going to go up, I'm probably going to drop off from doing Mancinima film reviews. I might pop back for the occasional big movie. Like I said, we're doing Argyle at the end of the week. But yeah, I won't be doing every other little movie that opens up as I usually do, because doing these videos takes up a lot of my time. It takes me a good hour or so to record this bit for you, and then it takes me a good couple of hours to kind of put the video into the edit, line the whole thing up, source the photographs about the film review, put the copyright on the photographs, bring the whole thing together, add the music on, and then it takes me a good couple of hours after that to upload to YouTube and then present it out to you. I try to get these movies out, these little reviews out for you as soon as I possibly can. Of course, you know, if the numbers aren't climbing and if the likes and everything aren't going up and it just looks like it's stagnating, then it's probably not worth my effort to continue to do the film review side of things. However, the channel won't go away. You know, we've still got all the dinosaur videos that are coming out. I've got a few more things planned for the, you know, you fans of the dinosaurs, the In Search of Dinosaurs channel part. We got conventions coming up this year, so we'll be going back to the conventions. And also, you know, if we go off traveling anywhere and I find something that's interesting, then I'll vlog that for you and I'll put that up on the channel as well. So there's still a lot more to come on this channel. The channel's not going to go away. It's just that the Mancinima part of it may go away if we can't get the likes and the subscriptions up, unfortunately. Like I say, it just takes up a lot of my time, and unfortunately coming up very, very soon, well, it's fortunate for me, but it's unfortunate for this channel, is that I've got a lot of film projects coming up as well that I'm going to be investing in. I write and I direct short films, so I'm trying to get one of those back up off the ground. I've got a really decent little scary story that I want to get funded, and I want to get some people behind. I need to find a crew and find some actors and go out and shoot the thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into that side of things as well. And unfortunately, I won't have the time to invest in Mancinima because I'll be off doing those projects. And there's a couple of other bigger projects that I've just been offered as well that I will be involved in. So yeah. The only thing I can say is if you want to save Mancinima, if you enjoy these film reviews and you enjoy what I'm putting forward for you, if you could just tell everybody, tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. It's all free, as you know, and get them to click like if you've enjoyed the videos. It just helps me out, and then I think, you know, I will try to make the time to kind of fit some more film reviews in for you. But there'll still be some film reviews coming up, but I'm just going to be scaling it back a little bit. There's not going to be as many as there used to be because, like I said, I've got these other projects on the go, and because it does take up a lot of time. So unless the subscriptions climb and unless the likes climb, we're going to be scaling back on Mancinima and concentrating on the other things. However, in the meantime, sorry to end on a bit of a downer, but in the meantime, if you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Please click on the thumbs up button. That would be great. Really does help this channel out. Don't be one of those weirdos, one of the thumb bandits who are trying to sabotage the channel. They have no life. Please click on this thumbs up. That would be great. If you are brand new to this channel, please subscribe. Again, it's all free. Doesn't cost you a penny. Come and have a chat with me down in the comments. Tell me what your favourite kind of movies are, what movies you're looking forward to this year, and if you want me to review those, especially I will go out and try to review those like Ghostbusters and Fall Guy and Deadpool and things like that. And yeah, hit the notification bell. You know when I've done another one. Thank you very much for watching this one. As you know, I do appreciate all you guys watching. I do appreciate all your subscribers, and I will speak to you all very, very soon.